Hi everyone, welcome to Board of Tanks with StewiejP. I'm Stewie and this is another double shot of explosive Batchat action. The Tier 10 French Medium Tank, the original French Medium Tank, the original autoloader at Tier 10. First replay is brought to you by Frosty2 from MI6 Clan. He's also doing a lot of work with YETI University Southeast Asian Clan in their training sessions and platoons and all the awesome stuff they do over there. And in this game, Frosty's running around on Fisherman's Bay in the Batchat, getting up into the middle to try and get some early spots for his team as he waits for the only thing that's painful and slow about the Batchat, and that's the reload. You can see Frosty's firing full APCR, which is the standard rounds of ammunition in the Batchat. Which I think that's something I'm going to start doing. I normally run half and half, but if it gets down towards the end and you've got an odd number of shells, then sometimes it's a bit of a pain in the bum to work out which ones to use. Now he's searching for a few snipey shots. It looks like he might have some shots on the E5. There's a bit of a bug in the replay system. Sometimes the enemy tanks aren't coming up as with the red halo around them, if you like. I don't know if you call it a halo, but so it's not affecting my game, but it is affecting some of the replays. So I'm not sure what's causing that. I know I've got some out of date Aslane mods running in my replay, but Frosty's looking around for a few more shots, but he's waiting for his reload. It sounds like the reload's up now, so he's got another 5 shells in his clip. He's got a bit of red line fever there. He's right up the back trying to do a bit of sniping, but look at where his tanks are. Look at where the tanks are on Frosty's side. There's a hell of a lot up here. This E100 is probably not in the best spot for a top tier heavy tank. From memory, he might get a little bit of criticism in the in-game chat, but we'll see. So Frosty's reloaded and he's relocating. He probably doesn't want to come up against these heavies. That's probably what he's thinking. There's a low, there's an E5, another E5, T-34 Conqueror, and it looks like a T-57. All pretty hard hitting, genuinely big heavy tanks. But now the Panther 2 and the 121 have done a big push down this one line, and Frosty's going to jump in to give him a hand and try and get some damage as well. I don't know if that was the E100 who just had a snipey shot towards the E1. I'm not sure. Frosty's playing a little bit conservative here. He doesn't normally play this conservatively, but now he's worked out that in that southwest corner there's the Panther 2, which will be easy damage. There's also the E1, which probably needs to be careful of because that's an autoloader as well, and the Rimatol Borsig. Now there's the E1. He's only got 900 hit points, so Frosty's stuff it. He's auto aimed at him, and he wants to take the autoloader out of the game first because he's a tier 9, and you can be less worried about a Panther. And he picks up the second kill as well, taking out the Panther 2, which isn't a bad tank for tier 8, but it's still a tier 8 tank. So Frosty's reloading and relocating. That E100's finally started to move into the centre where there's a little bit more action, but looking at the minimap, looks like a lot of the enemy tanks are down by the water on the eastern side. A mouse gets taken out by the E5. And now it looks like Frosty's relocating again. Picked up nearly 1400 damage for his 2 kills. He's just staying mobile as he reloads. Now, if I was to be critical, I'd probably say that if it was me, I probably would have stayed down towards K1 and at least try to get rid of that RHM. At the moment, these tanks really don't have much vision. The Scorpion G looks like he's going for it, and the RHM looks like he's in a position to shoot him, but Frosty probably could have taken out that RHM as well. But he's back into the middle of the map where there's a lot more action, and he's wanting to get rid of the E5. He nearly does. He nearly got a shot into the back of the E5, but the WZ1114 snipes the kill from the middle. E100 still in a very interesting position. The E100 in the middle of the map, and now Frosty's using his mobility and his rate of fire to try and put some damage into that IS-7. Might have been a little bit unlucky with some of those shots, but when you're firing on the move and you're auto-aiming, you generally need to... sometimes you can't pick out weak spots. You just need to do the quick drive-by and put a little bit of damage into them. Now the tank destroyers have gotten rid of that RHM that was down here, and they're approaching on the base. They've got an Object 140, which is probably going to hold them up, especially if he's hull down. Well, Frosty reloads again, and looks like he's going to target the T57 Heavy, the T34. T34 is an easy kill for the first shot. Didn't get that lucky with the T57, but they're winning 10-5, so there's no need to do anything silly. And what's he going to do? Is he going to go run around the corner, or is he going to back up and try and pick up a little bit more damage and a few more kills? T57 in a pretty good spot with that dead T34 next to him. So Frosty's saying, no, I'm not going to stuff around here. I'm going to move around and try and get a better angle on some of these enemy tanks. Ahead 10-7, but 3 or maybe 4 of the tanks on Frosty's side look like they're out of the game, or not out of the game, but out of the damage. Gets the side of the E5, takes him out of the game. A very handy tank to get rid of. Takes one shot from the T57 and then gets rid of him, which brings up his 5th kill. There's only 2 tanks left, the Object 140 and the Rheinmetall, tier 8. So as he's reloading, Frosty's going to move into another position where he can get a few more shots out. It's an odd map, Fisherman's Bay. I find that sometimes it doesn't matter where you go. All depends if luck's following you, I guess, sometimes. But Frosty's doing a stellar job here. You can see the Object 140 is distracted by that IS-3. So he's auto-aimed on him, and he's coming around the corner to flank the medium tank. Still not spotted. Looks like the Object 140 is just fired. And Frosty he knows he can afford to take a shot. If he aims properly, he'll kill him. And he picks up the top gun, doing a total of 4,000 damage, I think it was. And of course the 6 kills to finish it up. As I get the next replay ready, we'll go through the post-game battle results very quickly. He picked up a first-class mastery badge. Hand of God, Bruiser, Jeweler and Filer for effect. Of course he got the top gun. You can see all the tanks that he damaged. Didn't do a huge amount of spotting, and that's probably what might have cost him the ace tanker, which, you know, his spotting damage was only 82, which is on the low side for a Batchat. But you can see still top score with 1,067 base experience, 4,153 damage and 6 kills. Was a little bit expensive, but that's probably because he's driving a tier 10 tank in a non-premium account. If you had a premium account, it would have made a bit of money, but not firing premium ammunition sort of prevented the game from being a very big deficit in credits, if you like. As we go to the second game in this Batchat Lian 25T double shot, it's from everyone's favourite team efficiency player, Skull. He's now with YETI Clan, and he's platooning with his old mate Party, I think it is. TE Party. All the team efficiency guys have got TE at the start of their names. That's why they've got it like that. And they're doing, this is a very handy little spot if you want to get up into the centre of cliff quickly without going around like where that T29 is. Looks like the STA2 is trying to follow, but it looks like he might be struggling to get there. So Party and Skal are probably surprised the enemy side into getting up there so quickly. T49's fired and he's put out of his misery pretty quickly. And now it's the time for the E50 to feel a bit of pain. With a bit of a tag team, Party's picked up 2 kills and a fair bit of damage, I would imagine, and Skal's already picked up 1500 damage. As looks like they're both reloading. Just hanging back there, out of sight. There's no artillery to worry about, but it's still a good idea to be, if you're not going to relocate when you're reloading in a Batchat, it's a good idea to not be in a position where you could be spotted or shot at while you're reloading. Looking at the mini-map, they don't really need to do too much spotting because all the enemy tanks have been spotted apart from the Waffle, the Tier 9 Waffle, and so the 2 boys in the Batchats are just going to look around and try and get some cheap shots in. This is another interesting place to go on Cliff, but unfortunately they got spotted. If they didn't get spotted, they would have been able to get another full clip out into the side of that E75 and the IS-7 probably, which are in the centre of the map. But since they did get spotted, well, Skal definitely did. It looks like Party maybe didn't get spotted, and that's why he's staying there. And Skal's going around just to try and get a few more snipey shots into these light tanks and maybe those heavy tanks if they roll over. The team's sitting on 4-3. That shot goes wide, and his reload's not quite quick enough to get a nice clean shot into the side of that 1390, but the Leopard PTA, the Tier 9 German medium tank, gets rid of him. You can see Skal's got 3 shells left in his clip. He's just trying to provide a bit of vision into that centre side, but there's only Skal, the STA2 and the Leopard shooting in that direction, as well as Party on the other side of that mound. Very handy tank to get rid of, the Tier 10 Czech tank, another tank I don't have yet, but I'm really looking forward to unlocking it. Skal cops a bit of a blood nose there by the E75, as well as maybe it was the RU that shot him as well, I'm not sure. He was reloading, but while he's reloading he's providing a little bit of vision in the middle of the map so that Party and the other players on his team can hopefully get some shots into him. Situations like this where the reload is painfully slow on the Batchat. It's the only downside of the Batchat. It's a long reload, but once you're loaded, you can generally go to town if you're in the right position. You need to be careful of that Ferdinand coming around. It's only a Tier 8, but it'll damage the French medium tank easily. He's spotted again, so he wants to be careful of not only the 30 but also that FV. He's just having a look to see if he can shoot him or if the FV can shoot his tank. I can't see which way they're facing, but hopefully that Leopard PTA is going to keep them honest over there. Now, of course, Party and Skal will be talking on TeamSpeak, letting each other know when they're loaded or reloading. For the time being, Skal's just happy just to keep these tanks in the middle lit up, and Party's moving forward, which probably tells me that he was on reload before and he's probably ready to rock and roll now. T54 takes out the VK on the other side of the map. Now, it looks like both these tanks are focused on Party, so they want to get rid of the E75 first because he's only a one-shot, and then focus their clips on this Tier 10 big Russian heavy tank, the IS-7, one of the most popular tanks in Tier 10 clan wars. The Skal picks up his 3rd kill. Between them they've got 5, and you can see on the damage counter Skal's done nearly 3,000 damage as he reloads again, and he's going to be looking for some shots on that Ferdinand and that big British FV215B if he can be found. You'd think between the STI, the T54 and the T49 and these TDs they should have this IS-3 covered, but they do have some tank destroyers camping down the 1-2 line, which those tanks on Skal's side would be a little bit wary of. IS-3 gets taken out of the game, and I reckon it's Party spotting that FV from the lighthouse, And while the FE's aiming at Party up the top of the hill, Skell's going to hopefully put some damage into him. Luckily enough to bounce a shot from the British heavy tank. Party comes out to play, sets him on fire, and Skell steals the kill from Party. He probably would have got that kill. Brings his kill count up to 4. But the main thing is, the danger's been averted. There's only 2 tank destroyers left. The Grill or the Griller 15 and the Waffentrager Tier 9. And they know that if they get there quick enough, they'll be able to farm even more damage. And by the time they get there, they should be just about loaded. That shot went a little bit wide. It looks like the T49 put that 1,000 damage into it. But Skell ends up with 5 kills. 7 kills between them. The 2 Batchat players. Skell and Party from Team Efficiency. Another awesome game in the Batchat. And Mastery Badge, as well as a spotter medal, because he did a hell of a lot of spotting damage from the middle of the map. Duelist, Fighter and Fire for Effect. You can look at all these. There's too many to count, all the tanks that he spotted, damaged and killed. As you look at the second page, Party had a massive game damage-wise with nearly 6,700 damage for his 2 kills. And Skell top scored, not because of his damage, 4,476 plus 5 kills, but for 3,200 spotting damage. That's what really contributed to the ace tanker. In Frosty's game, he didn't do that much less damage. He only did a whisker less damage than Skell, but it was the spotting damage that was the difference, which of course contributes to the experience score and whether or not you get an ace tanker. And as always, if you have a ripper game in the Batchat, even without a premium account, that would have been a profitable game, and that's because of all the experience and credits you get from all that spotting, which obviously doesn't cost you any money in ammunition, plus of course the damage that he did. Awesome couple of games there by Frosty, Skell and Party from Team Efficiency. The Batchat games are always very, very entertaining. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it. Double shot of the Tier 10 French Medium Tank, the Batchat. Take care and see you all next time.